Yeah. Okay. What do you envision the state of immigration will be? Maybe 30 years down the line. This can be hope or fear. And how do you plan to take a role in either bringing that to pass or keeping it from happening?
Well, you know, I'm generally an optimist, Hannah. I have a generally optimistic view of things, I think, and I, just because I've become more aware of the role of immigrants in the state and in the nation, and that I do feel that it's a positive role and an important, almost a critical role, really. Being a baby boomer myself, you know, I like to say to my other baby boomer friends, you know, you have to think about who's going to buy your house when you're getting ready to sell it. You have to think about who's going to, you know, really fuel the growth of our different economic sectors, of our schools, et cetera, who's going to take on the battles of the future. And to be honest with you, you know, at this point, more than 50% of children in this country or in this state have at least one immigrant parent. So we're talking about the children of immigrants who have immigration as part of their experience. It's part of who we are. It's the fabric of our society in California. So, but I see this in an optimistic way, because I think that if we do work to make our system more responsive to the needs of the country, of the state, as well as the needs of the families who are immigrant families themselves, if we find a way to do this, if we find the political way and the political will to really reform the system, then I think we have a much rosier view of the future. If we continue to refuse to learn how to work with the flows of human beings moving for the reasons that they move, then I think it's, you know, to our peril to be constantly in a battle over, you know, how that flow is going to be managed, how we're going to, you know, work with immigration so that it contributes to our growth and to our future as a more prosperous place, or against that. So I think that there's definitely roles that people need to take in trying to bring about that reform to the system, so that in 30 years, you know, you have, and you know, you hope that that there will be some kind of resolution to these huge problems that exist in the world, because right now I think one of our most intractable problems is the way in which the drug trade has imposed itself on on the economies of many countries in the hemisphere and through from South America, Central America, and through Mexico, and that's become a terrible, terrible problem. Because if it were you or me living in a community that is being terrorized by these drug cartels, I'll tell you, we'd be out of there in a minute and looking for a better place to live peacefully with our families and be able to raise our children, etc. So I think that, I'm optimistic that these problems can be addressed, and that in 30 years we can have a more regulated system that works better, as long as built into the system is the constant awareness that these things are fluid, that immigration is it's about human beings doing the things that they need to do, which is to pursue living a peaceful and a happy life, and and raising your kids and doing better than the last generation. That the policies and the systems and all the wonky stuff has to respond to those human needs and those human desires, and that's kind of the bottom line. So, like I said, I'm optimistic. I wouldn't ever dare to say that it's going to be an easy process to get through this. It's obviously going to be a very difficult one. It already has been, and it's not over, to really do this resolution. or this, you know, reforming of the current system to be whatever it's going to be in the next, you know, generations. So I guess that's my answer.
Any